Today we're going to talk about charging lithium iron phosphate batteries. Now, I'm just going to refer to my batteries. They're 12 volt, actually 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour batteries. So a lot of this will be referring to them. Okay, so let's see here. I guess we might as well look at a battery here. So this is not necessarily a metal oxide cathode. I guess this is MeO2. I'm not even sure what Me is. It's not the magnesium. But okay. The whole idea is, if this was a picture of a lithium iron phosphate cell, this side here, the cathode side, which is positive, which is strange, but anyhow, it would have lithium, iron, and phosphate that bind to the lithium on the positive plate. Now this would be before even charged. There would be lithium electrolyte in the cell. There would be a separator, and there's a graphite anode, which is copper. This is aluminum. So there's a layer of, it says graphite, but I'm pretty sure it's graphene, because they're single layers, it seems, that the lithium ions go into. So I have a feeling it's graphene, not graphite, but anyhow. So during charging process, you're actually hooking your charger across the cell or across the battery. This is just showing one cell. And the lithium ions go from the cathode through the electrolyte, through the separator, and then deposit on your graphite. And this is why you want to charge at a lower C value. At a lower amperage, because they have to go and they have to bond and find places in between the graphene. If you're charging with a real high amperage to charge up your battery fast, then what happens is they bunch up and you'll get plating. And I have a video about that from last night. So that's pretty well how it's charged. All the lithium ions go to the anode, and they're all stored in the anode. And then you put a load across it. You take the charger off and you put a load across it, and they go from the anode, go through the separator, and go to the cathode. The ions go this way and the electrons go the other way. And that's pretty well how this battery works. So, real quick overview of it. Lithium cells require dedicated constant voltage, constant current chargers for safe and reliable operation. The charger limits the current until the voltage across the cell reaches 4.2 volts. That would be on a single cell. There's 4 cells in a battery, a 12 volt battery anyway, at this time. At this time, the charger changes to a constant voltage operation and the current will begin to taper off. So, this is what's roughly happening. The constant current goes in, and it'll bulk charge the battery right up until about 90% or so, and then the amperage will start tapering off, and the voltage will pick up because it's balancing the cells, so the current will start dropping, and the battery will receive more and more voltage as it's charged up. So that's roughly what's going on there. So again, to do with charging, you have to know what C is. C is pretty well, I can read this, but C is your amperage. Whatever your amp hours are of your battery. You might have a 100 amp hour battery, you might have a 50, you might have 280 amp hours. But that's what the C is. C is the capacity of your battery. Okay, now C rating. C rating is the charging and discharging of your battery. It doesn't really say that, but that's why it is. Okay, right here it does. Okay, a high C rating results in the battery charging, discharging at a high power for a short period of time. So, in other words, it goes on about 1C. Well, 1C I would consider very high rate of charging, because 1C would be 100 amps going into a 100 amp hour battery. So you're putting 100 amps into a battery for an hour. So that's very high rate of charging. And if you discharge your battery like that, well, that's, in both cases, you're going to cause a lot of heat, and you're going to have problems with your battery. You should never go anywhere close to the rating of your battery with amps. You shouldn't even go halfway. What I do is I go 1/5. I charge my batteries at 20 amps. It takes 5 hours. So it's C divided by, right here, well that's hours. But anyhow, you can look at C in many different ways. You can have 0.1 C or C divided by 10. They both mean the same, but what it is if you divide 100 amp hours by 10, you're going to come up with 10 hours. So this is what the C means, the C rating, and that's the easiest way to put it. Myself, I would rather put it in hours, because it's amp hours. So why not put, say you want to charge your battery in 5 hours. Well, put C divided by 5. That would work out to 20 amps. That makes more sense to me. But anyway, I'm just showing you how they rate it, and this is how they do it. So this is your C rating. Now, the only other thing I can talk about here is state of charge. As you charge your battery up to 100%, there's certain percentages. That is your state of charge. Now, when you say you took off your chargers, say you were going to charge your battery for 5 hours, and for some reason you took your battery off in 3.5 hours. Well, you wouldn't really know how much state of charge there is on that battery. Now they have a chart, and the thing is, what you would have to do is you would have to take it off the charger and you have to let it sit for about half an hour, 20 minutes to a half hour, and then this maybe could give you an idea how much state of charge, what percentage is in your battery that you have charged. So this is kind of a chart in order to have an idea how much charge is in your battery that you can pull out of it. So, but it's a lot better if you have a battery monitor. Like I have battery monitors here. As you can see, it's 80% state of charge. That's what I brought it down to. And it is 13.3 volts. And if you look right here at a 12 volt battery, 80% is 13.3 volts. So maybe this chart is a fairly good way of finding out your state of charge, but I would definitely recommend, for what they cost, I would get some battery monitors. Because with a battery monitor, you can track your amp hours you put into it or the amp hours you took out of it. You can check your wattage, and you can check your time. That way there you would know exactly how long you were charging the battery. So that's what I would do. That's what I did. As soon as I got the batteries, I realized I needed some battery monitors. Cheers.